Like, don't at me.
Don't at me. Goddamn. Don't at me. Don't at me.
Oh shit!
Let me see.
Who we back in here?
Let me see the clock.
Oh, gang, back in the stew.
Trying to see that thing.
Gang. Don't at me. What's up? We got Chance in the house. Chance, what's up?
What's happening?
Jock, we got the wax in the house.
Yeah.
Jock?
What up? What up? Can you hear me?
Rats in the house.
Are my vocals up?
I always,
My vocals
every
up?
time I watch, this is Mike Silva, by the way. Every time I watch Don't Be a Menace, I always hope and almost expect it to end differently. Like, I'm always like,
You mean Menace to Society?
yeah, exactly. Menace to definitely not Don't Be a Menace. Menace to Society. I'm like, how do they know where Ronnie lives? You know, like, what luck that they found him the day of? You know, it always kills me. But the silver lining is always that I'm like, all right, I think Wax comes out unscathed, right?
Yeah.
Like, so Wax is still out there.
Yeah,
so if they,
he's
you know, so okay, cool.
Oh, no, it's still out there, too.
Yeah, but they put in the tape, right? Didn't Quincy?
Yeah, but
what's Clifton Powell? What's his name?
Oh, no, probably still got off that shit because he was like 16, though.
He just was like slap on the wrist.
Yeah, it was just his first offense type shit.
O-Dog was really Chief Keef before Chief Keef.
He was.
And Carter Grady.
Yeah.
The legend.
Yeah, Carter.
Shout out. Well, hey, we're back in the stew, man. It feels good to be back in here. We're specifically at the original stew outside of Spots Park, Houston.
Yeah,
right here in the city,
Spots.
man. This is where it all started. This is where we had episode 1. We talked about no. Episode 1 was Jay-Z. That was at my house. Was Jay-Z is overrated. Then we did the Star Wars one. We were coming back from our guerrilla marketing in Huntsville, and then it might have been maybe it was 3 or 4, but like Spots, man. This was like we were like this is always where we're gonna record.
Yeah.
But it's kind of seasonal though. You can't really come here when it's like July, August, when
it be hot than a
apart.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
And motherfuckers be jogging and shit all the time right here, busting in cars and shit. It's
First
not good.
cool front we've had in Houston.
I know, it's been-
feels
Yo,
nice.
it's the first day of fall, and it actually feels like it.
It is 9/22, right?
Yeah. This is the first day of fall, and it
Yeah.
actually feels like it. This is the first time
Wow.
all my 32 years of living life that it actually feels like fall
In Houston.
on the first day of fall in Houston.
That
So
never
that's what's
happens.
up. Yeah.
Well, shit, it feels good, man. It feels good to be all together again. Episode 53
Yeah, in person.
in person, man. Well,
No
the last
video,
one's-
but
not this time. Oh, that's true. That's true. Shit, we should probably get on. Well, we'll get the audio up on the YouTube. You know,
Yeah.
subscribe on YouTube. I've been milking the shit out of the YouTube promo Jock recorded. The excuse me, Jock. You know what's up.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Let me quick side note. Shout out Unsportsmanlike Conduct. That is the sports, NFL podcast of the Repertoire Network of podcasts. Reason I mention that is I've got breaks in there. The breaks that are in there are always YouTube promo from our boy Jock. So subscribe on the YouTube channel, Repertoire Network. You're going to get all the good stuff that we have on Don't At Me. You're also going to get all the sports stuff from Unsportsmanlike Conduct. And I keep telling y'all we're going to do some play-by-ear. We are going to do some play-by-ear. So you could also check that out. But, man, I know tonight we were talking about just some deep shit, catching up, local bar.
yeah.
Won't shout it out because, hey, we don't give promos for free. But, Chance, you actually had a question. And I feel like, getting back in the stew, back at Spots, back to our roots, right? Like, feeling like all lovey-dovey and shit,
You
So
probably
I'm
hear
like,
babies in the background and shit.
I know. We had a party. Hey, people pulling up at a park at like 10 o'clock at night with kids, probably.
So random.
But, nah, so you asked a good question. You said, okay, you asked a docket-worthy question, which, by the way, we're going to kind of, focus more on the evergreen opinion-based shit because y'all want to fact-check us, and it's, I get that.
We ain't got the facts.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just riff.
Don't at me, bitch. We just telling our
It's opinions. It started as an opinions pod, and he's remaining an opinions pod.
So we ain't got facts.
Yeah, so...
Anyway.
Anyway, Chance asked a good question. What is an appropriate gift or, birthday present for an ex that you kind of have a cordial relationship with. So, I don't know. Chance, you want to kind of like put any kind of like color behind that context, or?
Alright, so yeah, I was trying to. My ex got her birthday coming up, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? I was asking Mike and Emily, you know what I'm saying, like, yo, what should I get him? You know, and it was two opposites of the spectrum from both of the answers from you guys, but I don't know, like, is it even appropriate to buy an ex a gift? You know what I'm saying? That's
and that's a good question. That's probably a good place to start, right? Because I think it depends on your long-term goal with said ex. I think it also depends on B, where things left off with said ex. And I think C, kind of the current status, right? Like the current relationship that you have with the ex. So, speaking on my own, experiences, there aren't many that I would have that relationship with. There are plenty that I've also ended things with on a cordial basis. But obviously now, being married, I'm kind of out on this combo. Yeah. Because I don't feel like there is really an appropriate time. Unless, the ex is like somehow inside the clique, somehow or another, like as a friend now. I don't have any relationship like that I can think of, but I've also seen, sometimes maybe somebody dates somebody, then they date somebody else in the crew, and then they marry somebody else in the crew, right? Maybe you're still close to somebody that, you see what I mean? Like that kind of, I can't speak to one personally, but I've seen that, right?
Yeah. It happens.
Outside of that, I don't think, outside of that, I can't really say that, the circumstances for somebody married can really relate. Somebody in your situation, so, I don't want to speak for you.
But okay. Speaking of, like,
just putting the background info, right? Like the context,
as like an
right?
ex. It's just like a friend, getting a friend.
Right.
Something
y'all had a good
for
cordial breakup. You're
Yeah.
both still like pretty single. Like, right?
Yeah.
So,
but it's just like, where do you start? Like,
so I think it's kind of like I said. Like, you start with what the long-term goal is, right? So if it's like, hey, I have no interest in ever talking to you again, then obviously you wouldn't buy them a gift. If it's, hey, I want to stay friendly with you because you're a part of my life, like whether it's as a platonic or future relational, you're always going to have those feelings. But whether or not you want to keep those relationship feelings going, that's up to you. But I think if you have at least the friendship piece, okay, you've got that done, right? So yeah, y'all are at least close enough to where you're still in a cordial relationship.
I want to say some shit.
What's up,
Jock? Yeah, because I'm kind of just talking in circles. Really, I think it's like
I got you, Chance. I want to say, cherish that. Not seriously, like cherish that, like the fact that she's still willing to like talk to you just on some friend shit, right? Because I feel like, I'm not gonna say like all my exes, but the most recent one, like, she don't want nothing to do with me. You know what I mean? Like, I thought stuff ended cordially. It wasn't no bad, like, fuck you, nothing was bad, you know what I'm saying? But just don't want to hear from me, or whatever. So and like it kind of hurts, right? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, man, I'm probably oversharing right now, but fuck this podcast is for. I lost my dad. My dad died a month ago. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still dealing with that shit like heavy, because like, I'm dealing with it. So I say that, so like, I thought that like my ex would be there more for me, even though we're not together. You know what I'm saying? And, like, she hit me up, but I feel like she really only hit me up because I told my friends to DM her. I think if I wouldn't have did that, I don't know if I would have heard from her. I don't know. It's all speculation, right? But it's like she hit me up the one time, and then that's it. Never heard from her again. And so I was like, damn, that kind of hurt me, because even though we're not together, we still were dealing with each other for 4 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's like some time, right?
Like, real deep,
Yeah.
Well, you had a loss,
Yeah.
Like, and your ex was there for you. So I guess that is a difference. And like the time frames are similar, as far as like the time of, that y'all have been broken up.
The time of the loss, yeah.
Because it should, it hurts, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I thank you for like y'all trying to, being here for me and everything. Like They meant a lot because I got a Terrier reading tonight, and it wasn't too good from what she was telling me and shit. But it's stuff that I kind of already knew, like just confirmation on things.
Oh yeah, you got a tarot reading.
Yeah.
How was it?
Share,
Yeah, you want to share with that?
Share only what you're comfortable sharing. Maybe. Just
Yeah, I
about
mean,
the experience
yeah,
itself.
I mean, why not? I
'Cause
mean,
I've
I
never done that.
already posted on Instagram, so whatever. Basically, what she told me is like, I did 3 cards, and the first card was like, it was like family, but like turned upside down. And so she was like, hey, when it's turned upside down, it means like you're going through a lot of shit right now. So like, feel all your emotions, and then like your world is like changing right now, pretty much. And then like the second card was like things are like very fiery and they're moving very quick for me right now. So like you have to like go with the flow type shit and just control what you can control, right? And the third one was like the devil, but like upside down. And she was saying like with that one, it's pretty much don't let your shadow overtake you, because right now I'm like depending on my vices too much with shit, and like that shit kind of hit me because I'm like I kind of am with certain things, She's like, don't let it overtake you, pretty much, like like you're better than that type shit. So it was all bad shit, but like I need to hear that, what I mean? And so, well, she didn't say it was good or bad shit. I'm just saying it's like for you, pretty much, And so it's a lot, Mike. I ain't gonna lie, man. It's like even like going to work and shit. Like I've been sad a lot, and I was telling her, bro, I'm just not. I don't want to be sad anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like I just want to be just happy, like genuinely and stuff. And so like with my breakup, my dad dying, like just everything that's happening right now, like it's a lot, man. You know what I'm saying?
What's interesting, man? I feel like when we were growing up, people always talked about like your 20s being your most challenging time, and then like maybe shit gets together by your 30s, right? And I'm laughing because I feel like 30s are kind of like the more challenging, trying times, because you've been doing whatever you've been doing since high school for a decade now. You're thinking, okay, do I want to keep doing this forever? Do I want to do something different? And especially with everything that we've been dealing with in the last year and a half with all the COVID and quarantine and shutdown and shit. It's a very like a reflective time, and it makes you question what really does make you happy, right? Because it's
to me, bro, it's not even about like a work or finance things. Like it's not even about that. I don't care about that. I know I'm gonna be good regardless. I mean, I'm a hustler or whatever, and we all are. But it's just the fact that like money doesn't equal happiness. It helps, of course. You know what I'm saying? But just like, we're on a topic, right? Relationships. Chance is so cool. This ex, cordial and stuff like that, which is very dope. And I just wish like I could have had that too. You know what I mean? But it's like, it's not about you. It's the person too, right? Because like that's how she can move on, right? She doesn't want nothing to do with you and like just trying to move forward and all that shit. I may not agree with that, because I felt like shit was cordial. And then when her birthday came around, I just stopped hearing from her, like just bam. So I was thinking like, damn, did her friends tell her something or what? Because like it was just weird how just abrupt. You know what I mean? But like. Right. It's just her way of like trying to just get over me, I guess, right? And I feel like she's already over me. I can be wrong, right? I don't know. You know what I mean? But like, I can't really worry about that and focus on it. But it would have been cool if during this whole new journey of my life and stuff that's happening, if I could have just heard from her like a little more. You know what I mean? Right. So that's all I gotta say about that. But Chance, I'm glad that like since that you and Chloe, shout out to Chloe, she's dope. Get her a gift, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, real talk. She's cool people, man.
Well, so, okay, back to the original question. We'll get to that original question here in a minute. To your point, Jock, I think it's similar because I think it's... Typically, you can rely on how things ended, dictating how the rest of it unfolds. But I think the other part of it is everybody deals with that differently. And even if you think, all right, I'm mature enough that I can break up with somebody and see them and still deal with it, I think some people are more keen to just face it, get over it, because the second you see somebody move on, you're going to naturally get a little bit jealous. It's just going to happen. And firsthand experience, I've been in relationships where I cut it, I ended it, and then the other person found somebody else before I did, and you feel some type of way like, what? Wait, you kind of second guess yourself. But you got to remember you made a decision in the first place for a reason, right? And I faced that shit, and then after, a couple of days, like, oh, well, no shit, I made this decision for a reason. Duh, reality check. I think for some people, they have to deal with it in different ways. I think some people they can face it, and then I think some people can't face it, and they have to just kind of run from it. And I mean, it's easy to judge those people because you could think, all right, I would do it differently, but I guess for them, it's the only way they can face it, you know. And I can't relate with that because I always like to face my shit head up, you know, head front.
In the midst of all this, bro, I'm not saying like she was right, wrong, or anything like that. You know, I know I said like, okay, like I hold on one second. But yeah, like, hey man, you gotta stay on your toes, your tiptoes, bro. But like I said, insider right now.
Continue, Jack. You good?
But I guess back to what I was saying, man. Like, people move how they move, they deal with how they deal with stuff, and I'm not, like, if that's what's best for her, cool. But I'm just talking through my emotions, right? And that's one thing the reader said to me tonight. Talk about your shit, like own it, feel it. Whatever you're feeling, like do that shit because it can get stuck inside you. You don't want that because it's gonna block a bunch of shit. And apparently, a lot of stuff's being blocked to me right now, right? And she's I'm holding on to something. She doesn't know why, but she's like, so you're holding on to stuff and you like let it go, pretty much, And so any animosity and anger, because I had a lot of like I was jaded a lot, had a lot of animosity towards different things. But I let that shit go, bro. People move how they move, and you just wish them the best, pray for them, and then that's pretty much it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I try getting on different apps just to, like, because bored or pass time and shit like that. And, like, apps are just weird now, bro. Like, all these apps, it's just fucking weird, bro. Like how women move now, it's just, I'm not fucking with it, if I'm being real true. Like, I'd rather traditionally, like, meet somebody in person, right? You know what I'm saying?
It's weird now, right? With, like, technology.
Yeah,
I can only imagine, like, where do you even start?
It's just weird. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, what's up? At least for me. Maybe I'm too
So
old
where do you
now.
typically start? Like, what would be your move, like, you're in?
Man, as far as, like, how do you mean?
So you match with somebody on whatever you're
You match
using.
with somebody, on Bumble, Tinder.
What's typically your first move then? Like your first.
I got you. So the question that I asked is like, if you could describe your personality with 4 GIFs, what would they be? And they're like, oh,
4.
Good question. All this shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And start
you
sending
gotta
them and
pick
shit.
them.
And then like, it's cool, but then like it always just falls off, or I get ghosted or like blocked or some shit, right? And it's like I can see if I'm coming to somebody like extremely sexual or on some creep shit, but like that's not what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
And so like that's another thing too, bro. These women, at least with me, they will block you with the quickness or ghost you with the quickness, bro. Over any little thing. Your color, it can be like, oh, your favorite color is red. Oh, fuck you, block. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
it's ridiculous, bro.
Well, we
shit.
were talking about this Sunday, right? And I was saying that like I was asking about the tendencies based on cultural differences, right? And I actually said I feel like maybe black women might tend to be more patient.
Ooh.
Right? Like,
Chance probably can relate to this shit. So I will say this, right?
I'm stirring the pot, but I
it is what it is. Right? Hey, bro. So like, I'm glad you brought that up. So when I match with the Asians, whites, Hispanics, all that shit, they're the only ones that be coming at me fucking crazy, like talking like reckless and like ghosting me and blocking me and all this shit. All the black women have not did me like that, bruh. Like so straight up. So I feel like, all right, maybe because we can relate more, obviously, but they have more patience. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
you get, bro. I was this one chick. I'm not gonna say her name, but she was super dope, artsy, into like poetry, all this shit. I came at her super like fucked up on some shit, right? And she, as an adult, right? She was like, let's chill on this talk because I'm not really down with that. I still feel like you're a cool person, but let's chill on that. When she could have like blocked me or like ghosted me, but she didn't do it. She actually like communicated, right? And so I felt like, I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted right now with this motorcycle. They got on fucking Chicago Bulls shorts, okay? But yeah, so the point I'm making is, bro, like I feel like as adults, if you feel like somebody's like treating some type of way or you're not liking how some shit going, communicate that shit. Don't ghost and block, because to me that shit's childish. I'm gonna say like that shit is very childish, bro. And women do it because they're afraid of like drama and like they don't want conflict and shit. But bro, men, we appreciate if you let us know like what's up, like hey, this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's brutally honest, at least we know what's up. It's no like wondering like what happened type shit, you know?
Right. Communication is everything, man. Like, that's the only way you're gonna get through to everything. You gotta actually talk. You gotta actually get through it, you know. And I think that's something that, you know, it's unfortunate that the reason you're talking, the person you're talking about, wasn't there for you in the time maybe that you wanted them to be there, right? But I think, you know, equally, you could try to reach out. It's not on you. The onus isn't necessarily on you, but you could try to reach out and say, hey, you know. And I know you are one to kind of like speak your mind. I'm not necessarily saying you should like start.
Hey, I tried reaching out. You know what I was told? I'm being very honest right now. So even before all this shit, I tried reaching out, and she was like, she said what she said, and she was like, hey, and by the way, don't text me no more, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to move on, and I think it's best for the both of us. And like, yeah, like stay in your lane, pretty much. She didn't say that like verbatim, but that's basically what it was. You know what I mean? Like, wow. I'm like, God damn, bro, like. Do you hate me or like what? You know what I'm saying? Cause like it didn't end bad in my opinion. You know what I mean? So like, right. I don't know, bro. I'm just confused about that.
Where you at on this, man? Like you've been through plenty of relationships, ups and downs.
I feel like Chen says he's been cool with all of his chicks though, which is good.
Yeah, that might be true too. So I mean, I don't know. What's your analysis on all this?
I just try to keep it cool with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I don't know. Like, I just keep it cool with the woman. You know?
Right. Well, you stay tight with him for sure, but like, you know, like, well, I don't know. I mean, like, what's like? I mean, if you're in Jock's shoes, what like? Have you been in Jock's situation? First of all, have you been in Jock's shoes before, where like they just kind of tell you like that, like, hey, I'm good, but let's just, you know, you stay in your lane, I stay in mine.
I mean, yeah, and you kind of just go along with it.
Go with it, yeah, right. Yeah. But like, did you? So when that situation happened, do you think it was anything that you had done, or do you think it was just circumstances to where they wanted to move on from?
It's the person. Bro.
I think it's just them. Yeah, you know, like when they want to, when they go to an extreme to say like, yo.
Lose my number.
Lose my it
wasn't some lose my number shit, but
when it's getting to that type of shit, like you kind of get the gist. It was like, all right, I go with it, and that's how I leave it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that shit hurt because I'm like, damn, bro, because like I was at some French restaurant, right? I had a question for her, and I was like, hey, can I ask you a question? She was like, no, and I was like. I thought she was joking, right? And I was like, okay, haha. And I forgot what it was about, you know what I'm saying? She was like, no, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, bro. You're like, really? You know? She was like, I'm setting my boundaries, pretty much. Which I correlated to like, hey, don't hit me up because I'm trying to move on. You know, like, that's how I took that, you know? And so I'm just like I said, people go about stuff how they feel, like their own way, which you may not agree with, but you just got to respect it. You know what I mean? But I'm going to leave it at that, man. I'm not giving any more energy. You know, once again, I just wish her well. Of course, I always will, you know, with everything. I just wish that we still could have been friends or, like, some way, like, just cool, you know. Because, like, it's not like I was trying to, like, rekindle shit. Like, oh, let's get back together. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to make sure, like, you're good, bro. Like, we talking and shit, like, I don't know. I feel like you can hit somebody up without having intentions of like, hey, I want to get back with you. That makes sense. Maybe Chance, you can relate to that.
And I think there's a difference. I think they can kind of sniff that stuff out though. So even if you're telling yourself like, hey, I'm not doing that, but like you're reaching out, not really asking anything, just like saying some shit that like is clear, like, okay, you're just trying to like communicate, but you don't really know what to say. Now that doesn't justify their response necessarily, but yeah, I mean, I guess it comes down to the person. I think it also comes down to, I mean, just the way that things had ended. But I mean,
man, honestly, Mike,
people are different, you know?
People are different.
People are very different. And some people are comfortable with themselves enough to where they can say, all right, I'm willing to kind of move past this. I'm okay with being close to it to move past it. There are others that need to have distance to move past it. Now,
and maybe one day she will hit me up. Who knows? Like, hey, you know, how are you? But like, I just want to say this, and then I'm done talking about it. But you know, got love for her. I wish her the best, like in life with everything and happiness, wherever her next person is. As far as I'm saying this shit right now, you know what I'm saying. But I guess I don't know. You know, I'm just being honest, and I wish her the best. You know, and so.
Right.
Just leave it at that, you know.
Well, I mean, shit like that happens for a reason, you know? Because I'll think back on, like, certain relationships that went sideways. And you could think, you know, at some point, some kind of guilt. Like, man, I feel bad. I'm happy, but I feel bad. But honestly, you look back and you're like, all right, well, it usually works out for all parties involved. You know, because they'll be able to move on, find somebody. You already have moved on, you know, found somebody, that kind of shit. So
that's the thing, too. I'm not even trying to find nobody, bro. Like, right
not
now,
that you even have to, right?
Yeah,
like, you're
I'm
just happy in your own thing. And that
right.
comes back to the original question, right? Mm-hmm. Like, the last year or so has made you ask what really makes you happy. So Chance found some snacks in the side, but it's baby snacks and shit. It's not bad. If you want to crunch on it, it's like some crackers and shit. But, you know, it's like carrot blueberry or some shit.
Hey man, sorry, I probably got kind of deep right there, but hey, that's what this podcast is about,
that's
right?
What it is,
we speaking
man.
our
Talking
mind with
relationship shit. We getting real.
This is therapeutic for me, you know.
So basically, yeah. So what you're saying about, you know, what you would buy an ex as a gift?
Yeah,
that's where we started at.
Yep.
I think so.
Circling back around
to the question itself, you know, what kind of gift would you get for your ex? I think, ideally, you know, given your situation,
what if you give her a ring? Will you marry me?
I mean, you know, like,
I'm
okay.
joking.
So let's take a step back then. Like I said, you know, you're married. You can't do that kind of shit. Why would you want to do that? You should be married if you're doing that. So it doesn't matter for a married person. If you are in a relationship, probably shouldn't be in a relationship with the person that you're in a relationship with. If you're thinking about getting your ex a gift, I'll go as bold as to say that. I think, you know, unless your current mate is friendly with or kind of cool with your ex, because I've also seen that, you know, like you might date people that are friends with friends, whatever. Otherwise, I feel like it's kind of rolling the dice. Like, if your current mate isn't cool with that, or you feel like you're doing it like you're hiding something, then that's a no-go. But if you're single, hey, no holds barred. So when I say your situation, I mean like single, right? Like single situation. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like there's any holds barred. You know, you might say, oh, well, their situation, hey, I'm sorry, I'm selfish. I'm looking out for me. I don't really care about their situation. If they're talking to me enough, they're entertaining me enough, and I'm available, okay, fair game. I don't care what their situation is, you know, if I'm a single person, right?
Right.
So then I think it is just that. If you're single, if you are single, no holds barred. You can do whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So back to the original question, what kind of gift would you get? I think what works the best is something maybe a little bit sentimental, but not too sentimental, right? It can't be like so on the nose that it's obvious, but like elements of it, right? So like this situation, I think you can pull elements from your first date with said person.
Uh-huh.
First date you said with said person was what?
Maybe Mexican restaurant or something.
Mexican restaurant, okay. Yeah, you said I remember the name. If you want me to say it, I'll say it.
Oh, what? My shit?
Yeah.
The Rockies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you remember that. So my thoughts are, you try to remember what y'all had that night. You don't want to duplicate it, make it like a romantic date setting. It's more like a subtle wink. It's like one of those, like, you're a bench player, because really you are right now. Y'all are bench players to each other. She's not a starter in your life. You're not a starter in her life. Like, you know, like y'all are like,
right.
Like that's like your John Wall, like coming off the bench injured. Like you want it to work out, but ultimately, like they are still a bench player. So it's like, okay, let me do something that's like, it's almost like that. You get 3, 4, or 5 minutes. You get a heat check real quick, knock a couple shots down, run off the court. Like, oh shit, retro John Wall in the house. So that's kind of what I think you got to do. You got to pull some elements of it. So do you remember like the experience itself? What y'all had? What y'all ate? What y'all did?
Nah. Well, my shit was, alright, like, is it even like cool to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, not cool, but I mean, like, is it like an okay thing to like just like buy someone a gift? And like, how much
That's a good question.
do you spend?
That's the better question. So I was gonna say, we just decided like it's like a Venn diagram or like a flow chart.
Right.
Number one question is, are you single? If no, don't buy your ex a gift.
Right.
If you're single, yes. Okay, so then you move on. Then it is, okay, what's your price range?
I think that's
It's
relative.
always gonna depend on market value, right? Right? Like $20 today isn't like $20 maybe 10 years ago is like, okay, you spent bread.
Yeah.
You really care about this person. Now $20 is like,
Hey,
okay,
hey.
that's decent, like that's a little couple what, like a 24 pack of some good craft beer or something
Yeah.
like that, or the equivalent, in the green stuff. A couple grams, right?
Yeah. So
So I mean, hey, but you get enough with it, right? You can get, it'll go a long way. is
Yeah,
what I'm
at
saying,
Target.
right? At
Uh-huh.
Target, you get some cold gifts at $20 at Target, like
Yeah.
books and shit, coffee
Yeah.
table books. That's some good ass like gift like for stuff like that. But I think you want to touch on something that like kind of touches on the heartstrings, right?
That's what you think?
But not too much though. So that's what I'm saying. Like the first
I
date,
just wanna know,
if it was like margaritas and like fajitas, maybe you do like you have that sent over there with like a fat blunt rolled up or something. Like you know what I mean? Like kind of touching on the shit that y'all can relate to, but it's not so obvious. Like you wouldn't be like, oh, remember our song or some shit like that. You know what I mean? But if it's like, here's some shades from our first date. You're planting that seed. You're kind of like, hey, remember? Do you remember? I hate that wedding ass music, though. I do hate that wedding ass music.
Me
But yeah, it's more like, hey, you remember the time?
By the
whatever.
way, day was yesterday.
What was?
The 23rd of September.
23rd will be tomorrow. Well, I guess you said yesterday? So yeah, for the people listening, it'd be yesterday, because this should be dropping on the 24th, Friday. So, yeah, all is planned. We're keeping that in, no edits, uncut. Jock, where you at on this, man? So I give my 2 cents.
Yeah.
If you have a cordial breakup with an ex,
Don't buy this motherfucker something.
what's some shit, what can you buy your ex that's kind of like, I say you kind of touch into the sentimental side, but not too obvious. You kind of get into like what's something I can do. Oh shit, no more crispy boys?
No more Crispy Boys.
There should be
Hell
one
nah.
more. Dig down there.
It's all good.
Dang.
Man, so yeah, to answer that question,
There's
bro.
the rest of this one.
No, it's cool, bro. Y'all got it. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I still feel like all of them are cordial. Even though, like, my recent ex, I still feel like those cordial.
Alright, so I should just get a gift card, huh?
But as far as like, you said gift card. But no, as far as like if it's like a true like cordial, y'all friends, y'all chop it up. Hey, how you doing? Just checking on you, type shit every now and then. Man, this goes back to like remembering like shit that she likes, right? So like,
True.
if it's like you remember like she like fucking. I'm gonna give an example right now, right? Larry June has a concert coming up, and the ticket was like cheap as hell. It wasn't expensive. So if your girl's like live music and she likes that artist, just get her a fucking ticket. Hey, I got you a ticket.
No.
Because it's not that much anyways, right? So you're not breaking the bank at
Here's
all.
what you do, Jock. I like what you're saying. You saying the right answer. You get 2 tickets.
2. Okay.
You leave it open ended, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Balls in her court.
So if I get 2
You see
tickets,
that?
it's because
she might feel indebted to take you. In which case, hey, you get one more at bat. If
Here's
you really
the
want to
thing.
make something happen, you can.
my thing is though, you can be player about that shit though. Hey, I'm getting you a ticket, you take somebody else with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like you're already over and shit. You don't see her like that anymore. Hey, take your
Yeah.
friend, whoever.
2 tickets.
Cool.
And you leave
know
it
what I'm
there.
saying? Right. It's
Now-
only you spend like $50-$60 for both.
You got
That
to.
ain't shit,
The
you know?
question is, you said the price. What are you willing to lose, right? Because if you do that and she doesn't bring you along,
That's fine.
what are you okay with saying? All right, that's a loss for me, but she had a good time.
My
And
thing
you
is
maybe take the sentimental loss if you're invested in that way to say she probably took somebody else. Maybe it's one of her girls shaking ass.
who knows?
Maybe it's
But you gotta realize, like,
somebody that was,
most of the time
you know what I
they're
mean?
gonna,
Like,
they're- yeah, most of the time they're gonna take like another girl with them, like a homegrown shit, right? You know what I
Right.
mean? Because like they ain't taking no fucking dude.
Or
you know?
and you also know the day of the thing, right? So like, you could
go to.
Here's finesse. No. I'm not saying that, right? Because you got to finesse. You can't be like day of and you didn't get invited.
Oh hey, I didn't know. I know you're gonna be here. Nah, but I was gonna say.
Who'd you end up taking?
Oh yeah,
you want
okay.
to say some shit like that.
I already got
right?
tickets. Nah, but I was gonna say, bro, like on some maturity and like.
Hey, it's day of. When you want to link up?
Hey, nah, but real talk on some maturity and like some player shit. Nigga, who the fuck cares, bro? You know what I'm saying? Cause like you already know. You already conquered that.
Favor, though,
no, listen, like
get you an answer.
It will, but like you already conquered that. It's already been a part of.
Forgotten from this.
That was already a chapter in your life already. You know what I'm saying? Like a journey already. And so my thing is like, bruh, like let her do whatever, right? She's always gonna hit you up, oh thanks and all whatever. You don't have to respond back, but it's a gesture. It's a gesture type of like, hey,
I've written down kind of a take for the docket that wasn't really like tied to like a specific topic, but it's a take that's worth saying. I feel like certain relationships have windows. Just like sports teams. Like sports teams have maybe 3 to 4 years that they're either going to win or not win at all. Right? Like if you look at the
what's
Patriots,
going on to the right of us?
I don't know, some weird shit.
This nigga's stargazing.
No,
Nigga's stargazing. Every stargazing.
But if you look at like NBA teams, NFL teams, it's usually like, all right, we got a 4-year window to win it all, right?
Yeah.
So if after that 4 years you didn't get it done, you're probably not going to reclaim it, man.
Nah,
Now that's sports,
That's facts.
NBA, NFL. I can't say the same. I mean, baseball is different. Baseball is like a coin flip. You know, I mean, fucking Florida teams, the Rays, the Marlins, they just randomly will end up in the World Series every like 5 to 10 years. But if we're talking like NBA, NFL, 4 to 5 year windows. So I don't know the answer for like relational windows, but I feel like they're the same. So you gotta also realize sometimes that window might shut.
Yeah.
Sometimes that window remains open.
Mm-hmm.
So, question is, where is that window at? Now, I think that the move is, I like that answer, man. Like the concert tickets, I like 2 tickets, open ended.
It's not expensive.
You leave it open, right? You're not making any kind of declaration one way or another. And then you kind of, if she brings you, okay, she's not gonna bring you if she's no longer interested. Right.
At the same time, too, don't.
She might feel indebted, but it always comes back to expectations, though, right?
Yeah.
Don't be like, oh, I expect her to bring me, or oh, if she brings me, I expect like that things are good.
Never expect
that I
anything.
can't say. Like it might still be. She just feels like
I better
gotta
tell
take
you
you.
shit though. I just want to know, like, yo, is it okay? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
Like, what the fuck?
What's
should
to lose?
Like, yeah, what is it to lose?
You're not in something. You're not being unfaithful to somebody that you care
not any
about.
obligations, Chance.
So yeah, why not?
It's not any obligations, bro.
The second question you asked, which is, what's the budget? Like, yeah, you gotta whatever you're okay with losing, and not getting any kind of reciprocity. What are you okay with spending with? Like, you're not getting anything back from it.
Yeah,
you might get something back from it, but what are you okay with losing? It's like investing. What are you okay with throwing some money into Cash App if it goes down to, you know, let's say you throw $100 and then the next day it's $1, you lost it all. You're okay with losing $100? It's okay then. Like, you know,
check this out, Chance. Like,
all right, I got you.
Whatever you want to do,
beyond your means too.
Right? Yeah, facts. Whatever you want to do, bro. That's in your heart, you know what I'm saying? Do that shit, bro. Fuck what the world. No, I'm serious. Like, fuck what the world thinks. You feel like, hey, I want to get her this. Do it. You know what I mean? But like what Mike said, when you do it, don't have any like, okay, since I'm doing this, any like ulterior motives. Like, okay, like I'm looking for this in return because you set yourself up for failure ultimately. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Do something out the conscience of your heart and then just let it go. I'm not saying let Chloe go, but it's like you know what I mean? Like don't like harbor on the shit, right? You know what I'm saying? It's doing like, hey, I did, because here's what I feel, bro. So like, it's time about this, right? When people do shit for people, sometimes they're like, well, I did this for you, I did this, right? And I feel like they did it not for like a good, genuine reason, right? You're doing it because like you expect something in return. That's what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying? So when you do it, don't expect shit in return, like, at all. You know what I'm saying? Just do it because you want to do that. And that's it. Leave it at that. You know what I mean?
Expectations, man. I always go into my like choruses that I sing in like multiple episodes, but expectations are big, man. You go in thinking like, oh, this is what's gonna happen. You're setting yourself up for failure because you're just banking on like one outcome. Versus if you go in like, hey, anything, and you've talked about this before too, man. You go in just kind of open minded, like, hey, this might not work out in my favor, but ultimately, you know what your goal is. You've accomplished your goal. I guess that's the question, right? If your goal is,
do you want to get back with Chloe? I just said it, bro. Is that nah? Fuck it, bro. Is that your ultimate? No, I'm saying.
I'm just asking the motherfucker. Is it okay? I'm just asking generally. This ain't even about like.
No, like the reason why I'm asking, like, do you want to get back with her, or are you cool just being friends, like for real? You know what I mean? Like, just
no, it's not even about that.
That's kind of where I was going too, right? Because if it's just like, my goal is to make a friend happy, then the gift makes her happy. You're done with it.
Right.
If the goal is I want to make the friend happy and possibly get something out of it too, that's okay. I mean,
yeah, we're being honest right here.
The answer is still the same thing.
Nobody's
But you
judging.
gotta just know you can't expect to get something out of it. If you go into it saying, I wish this happened, but I don't expect it to happen,
I wish
then
this
I think you're good. Like, it's okay to have hope. But you can't be like, I'm going to get up for this, and if it doesn't happen, it's a loss.
Right.
Then that's a tough spot to be in. And I've been in that spot many times.
We all
not even
have.
necessarily
We all
relationship-wise, but just with, like, sports and, like, man, if this team doesn't win, that's going to ruin my week. It's just like, nah, like, get out of that space, you know?
I feel
But, I mean, that's ultimately what I say. So, we talked about the criteria. It is really, what's your situation? If you're single, go for it. If you're not, I don't think you should. Unless, rare exception, your ex and your current mate are friends, which doesn't always happen, but I feel like I've seen that plenty of times, whatever. Then it is, okay, so when you're good, get him something, but don't have expectations of reciprocity, and know your budget. And I think that Jock's play works well because it's open-ended. It lays it out there to where, like, you just ultimately want to see her have a good time, going to a concert of a musician that she likes, but you kind of hope she brings you. Yeah, and I guess if you want to be real sneaky, maybe you get her tickets to an artist that you like, and then the odds are even better that she invites you. So,
I see. All right. Well, all right.
Yeah, whatever. Even if it's like she's a foodie, right? I'm saying like whatever she likes. You know what I mean? Like, right. Hey, I remember you like this fucking restaurant here. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Gift certificate. But it's like the point I was making is like just remembering, and even that. So say you are trying to slide back in, right? Hypothetically, quotations. Hypothetically, trying to slide back in. She's like, damn, he remembers that from like 5-6 years ago. Like, shit, he remembers. Because what's the biggest thing women, I can say females, women hate about men? We don't listen. It's a big thing, like, men never fucking listen and shit, right?
You show them that you remember some shit?
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like, wow, okay, he remembers this. So
I see what you're saying.
That's food
like
for
if
thought.
you barely dated somebody and you remember their birthday, and you tell them happy birthday, just that's enough. And they'll be like, damn, he remembered my actual birthday. Obviously, your circumstances are different, but yeah, it's like it's a relative situation, right? Like, make them feel special. Ultimately, it's up to you. You just have to clearly know what you want to be an outcome, right?
Yeah.
You got to understand that you cannot expect that to definitely happen as an outcome. Then you also have to think, if the outcome you want to have happen happens, then what?
Excuse me, I'm talking to you. Hey. JK. But what's up, everybody? It's your boy Jacquees from the Don't Let Me podcast. Do me a favor. Head over to our YouTube channel and hit that subscribe button when you get the chance, okay? The cool thing is, when you subscribe, you'll be the first one to get all of our unfiltered takes on today's latest controversies, current events, society, and relationship talks from a guy's perspective right when it's published. How dope is that, right? So you can find our link on the show notes. Please help us grow. Spread the word about Don't At Me and the rest of our repertoire family of podcasts. All right, let's get back to it.
Right. So ponder on that. Hey, episode 53. Don't at me. This was a good place to pick back up where we left off.
Yeah.
Hey, check us out. Follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. And, of course, Instagram and Twitter at therep.network. We're just going to kind of do these as they come to mind. So we'd like to stick to a schedule, but, you know, we know how times are right now. We've all got busy schedules.
Mm-hmm.
We just want to talk when we feel like talking. But I feel like you guys are going to get more Don't At Me content. More of the Crispy Boys getting together, getting Crispy Boys at the Stew, Spots Park, or out there in Stonehenge. So make sure you guys subscribe. Tune in next time to Don't At Me. Spread the word. Rate, review, listen, subscribe. And we'll talk to y'all next time.
Peace. Peace. See you. Damn, that was a good one.
Hey, hold on real quick. Hold on.